Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, one and all. I welcome you all to today's webinar on the debate for the ISAM-NExT chair position. So, I'll share it. As we all know, we have three contestants for for the ISAM-NExT chair position: Dr. Jiang, Dr. Lara, and Dr. Venkata Lakshmi Narasimha. And the chairpersons are Dr. Baldacchino, Dr. Hamad Ghafri, and the moderators are Dr. Roshan and Dr. Sophia. So this is the agenda of our webinar today. So first we'll be having the opening of the webinar by member secretary, that is me, and by the moderators who are the chair and co-chair of ISAM-NExT. And that there will be brief remarks by the chairpersons. Following that, there'll be introduction of the first candidate, Dr. Jiang by Professor Alexander Baldacchino, followed by the introduction of the candidate 2, Dr. Lara Orsolini by Dr. Hamad Ghafri. And then there will be the introduction of the candidate 3 by Professor Alexander Baldacchino, along with the presentations by these three candidates, followed by question answers by the audience, and then there will be question answers by the chairpersons as well as the moderators. And then we'll be having the closing remarks in further steps by the co-chair and the member secretary. So coming to the opening of the webinar, so the moderators of today's session are Dr. Roshan, who is the dynamic and energetic chair of our ISAM-NExT committee, and Dr. Sophia, Achab, and very experienced and talented co-chair of our subcommittee. So I would hand over the mic to Dr. Sophia and Dr. Roshan to take it further. Thank you.
Roshan.
Thank you, Preeti. Yeah. Thank you, Preeti. I think this is a very important webinar today. As all of you are aware that we are going to have ISAM-NExT election, and this webinar is an important step of this election. The voting actually start in the month of October, but this webinar is opportunity to all contestants to give their views, their vision, and their plan for the ISAM-NExT committee if they are elected. So I welcome all of you for this interesting webinar. I also request you to also ask questions which you think relevant for this committee, and also actively participate in this webinar. So Sophia, yes, please, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Roshan. It has been a real pleasure to take part of this process, which has started, Roshan, if you remember, in ISAM Malta last year. And it was at the very beginning, we were thinking of how to proceed the more proper way, the more democratic way, in order to give the following trajectory of ISAM-NExT to new generation of excellent leaders. And I'm very, very happy now that we have three excellent candidates today that will present themselves and will present their vision, and which you can ask any type of question that you would like to ask. Thank you.
We are very fortunate and honored that we have two chairs for this webinar, Professor Alex Baldacchino, who is the present president of ISAM, and Professor Hamad Ghafri, who is the president-elect for the ISAM. And I don't think that we can get better chairperson than for this webinar. So I would like to invite now Professor Baldacchino and Professor Hamad Ghafri to take floor.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning for everyone here. In a way, these things don't just happen. And on reflection, as I was preparing to be part of this process, I was thinking of a conversation I had with Roshan way back in India, actually in New Delhi, pre-COVID. So it sounds like a long time ago. And it was one of those where, it was very clear that ISAM needs to be very, not just user-friendly for the early careers, but also needs to allow and give the opportunity for early careers to understand, be part of, be active within the mechanics of the International Society of Addiction Medicine. And from there, 4 years down the line, 3 years down the line, we have ISAM-NExT. Everyone knows what ISAM-NExT is. everyone would want to be part of ISAM-NExT. And this is a reflection, as what Sophia said, is we have 3 excellent candidates who would want to spend some of their precious time to support ISAM-NExT and ISAM in general, the ISAM communities that we all participate in. And from a very voluntary way is a testament of the energy that there is, thanks to Roshan and his leadership. So I hand over to Hamad, and thank you. I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks, Roshan and Sophia and the whole team of ISAM-NExT. First of all, I just mentioned before a while that this is a very, as Sophia said, democratic process that we always learn from, and it's a way of seeing the future of ISAM. I'm seeing here a new faces. I'm seeing here an ambitious to the future. I'm seeing here, people who are committed to help and serve the humanity. So nothing to say except thanks for your commitment, thanks for your time, thanks for your, noble, I can say, feelings towards the human being. Whatever you are doing here, let's have it as, that you are serving the community, and have it as a free time from your time to serve the international community and to help your own community, your own people, and the international societies. So I'm glad, and at the same time, I'm honored to be in this process to help and support and to take over with my colleagues, with your help and support towards the future, the ISAM. Thanks a lot, Roshan and Sophia. Thank you.
Now go to the next point, please, which is the presentation by Prof. Baldacchino of Jiang, the first.
Okay, so our first candidate is Dr. Yang Long. He's an MD and a PhD in psychiatry and mental health. His current affiliation is Shanghai Mental Health Center, but I know that he's also affiliated with other institutions, the US and Kuala Lumpur as well. He's also been working as liaison officer for the International Network Subcommittee of ISAM-NExT. Before you start, Yang, just to have a bit of an icebreaker here, is what are your hobbies?
I like play tennis, badminton, hiking, and I like singing, karaoke, and talking with my friends. I like fika, so have a cup of coffee with my friends, during weekends. Have a nice like apéro in French. So before you have your dinner, you have a drink with your friends. That's something I also like as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Yang, are you ready to give us your presentation?
Yes. Let me share my screen now. Okay. Yes. I just want to make sure everybody can see my screen properly, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone here. I mean, like Alex, Ahmed, and other experts for giving me this chance to present today. I think I have been working with ISAM for many years. I think Roshan and Sophia did a great job. I mean, laid the foundation of ISAM-NExT, and I feel really, really glad and also honored to be involved. I think in the last few years we worked so much, and we basically built our reputation, and now everyone in the field knows about our committee. I think that's really amazing, and I'm so glad and grateful to be part of it. And now I would like to introduce myself a little bit as requested, and I would like to thank Laura and also Venkata. I think we worked together before, and I think it was amazing. And I also feel honored that I have the chance to really, kind of like debate with them. And also, I think for me, it's more like a discussion because as I already mentioned, I think we do have like shared goal to kind of like promote our area. I think our area, to be honest, it's a little bit, underrated. I mean, in the field of mental health and psychiatry, I think because as an expert in the field, I do feel that I have this urge to promote our area and also draw more attention and to advocate more resources for our area. So now I will introduce myself a little bit first. So as Alex already mentioned, my major workplace right now is with Shanghai Mental Health Center, Shanghai Jiao Tong University School of Medicine. I'm a psychiatrist over there and also a researcher. I do research on addictive behaviors and also public health and global health for addiction medicine. And also, I'm currently the acting director for external collaborations at the center. Our center actually is a WHO collaborative center for research and training in mental health. And I also do research with Yale University in the US and also Faculty of Medicine at University Malaya in Malaysia as a postdoc researcher. This slide, I put some photos of my workplaces over there. I do clinical work and I also do research, with my teams in China, in the US, and also in Malaysia. We just enjoy our work. And I also do in Shanghai, I also do a little bit of management at our center to just coordinate international projects, including training projects, education projects, and also research projects based in Shanghai using the WHO Collaborative Center platform. And regarding my education and training, as you can see here, it has been a long process. I have been at medical schools for, more than 10 years. So I do know the sufferings, I know the hardship during the whole process. I finished my clinical education in clinical medicine in 2010. And afterwards, I went to another medical school and got my master's in psychology in 2013. Then I did my residency in psychiatry and finished the fellowship in 2014. Then I decided, after my residency, I decided to pursue my PhD in education and training. So I went to Central South University Mental Health Institute, which is also a WHO collaborating center for psychosocial factors, substance abuse, and health in Changsha. And also, I had the chance to get a scholarship to do, half of my PhD training in Belgium at Université Catholique de Leuven in Belgium. Then, regarding my qualifications, I got my national physician qualification in 2011 in China. Then, in 2013, I got my national psychiatrist registration, also in China, and also I have my license for psychological counselor qualification. I got the qualification in 2013, so it's like 10 years ago. I did many different works in different countries, and from 2019 to 2020, I worked with I worked with World Health Organization at the Department of Mental Health and Substance Use with a unit of alcohol, drugs, and addictive behaviors. So at that time, I had the chance to work with international organizations, agencies, and as well as collaborating centers, including collaborating centers in Geneva, which Sophia is leading now, and also our UAE collaborating center and collaborating centers in Shanghai as well as in Changsha, China. And also from 2020 to 2021, I was detailed to National Health Commission of China, which is Chinese, which functions as Chinese Ministry of Health. I was working on several national projects on substance use disorders. And in 2021, we successfully updated our national policies on the management of substance use disorders. Regarding an international network membership, I'm currently a member of the WHO Technical Working Group on the development of international diagnostic and screening instruments for gaming disorder. And as Alex mentioned, I'm liaison officer and a member of ISAM-NExT. I'm also a member of ICUDDR, and I also am the member of several committees at the Chinese Association of Drug Abuse Prevention and Treatment. In the last a few years, I also work, like trying to do my research, try my best, and I published more than 40 papers in international peer-reviewed journals, and I showcased in this slide some publications. Me as the first author. My major interest is behavioral addiction, including gaming disorder and gambling disorder and problematic smartphone use. And I also do research on substance use disorders and alcohol consumption and cannabis use. And what I would like to also mention that currently I'm also doing some projects regarding telemedicine on addiction medicine. So, for example, in Kuala Lumpur, we are trying to build a telemedicine focused on psychiatric and also substance use disorders for inmates. This is a collaborative project between Yale University and University of Malaya. So I'm really trying to expand my research scope as well, trying to really help the community and the area. And I have been regularly invited by more than 10 international journals to serve as a reviewer. I also co-added a national textbook for medical psychology, and it has been published. The first version has been published 2 years ago. And I have been also invited in the last few years by different entities across the globe. For example, this year I have been invited by Thai MOH and also WHO and different international universities to give talk, to provide talks on addiction medicine. And I'm trying to use, different chances. I think we, for example, Roshan, Sophia, and I, we were in Geneva this year in June and July. I think we try to use every chance to promote our association and trying to, to engage young professionals in the field to more opportunities and chances. So I really, because I worked with Roshan, Sophia, and other colleagues in ISAM-NExT for a few years. I really think that we really had, you know, the very solid foundation for ISAM-NExT. But I have been, you know, having my reflections on what should we do further. I mean, like with this solid basement. So if I had chance to you know, contribute to ISAM-NExT more, I was thinking like several days ago, I think I have this, you know, 5 more conceptualization, if you can call it this way. So I'm thinking that what we should do further work on is like more resources and publicity for our committee. Then we need to make more efforts on capacity building with special attention to the geographic representativeness. And also, like, we need more collaborations with other associations and societies in various ways. For example, ICUDDR, and I saw NECPOM today. I think we have some experts from there, you know, joining in this webinar. And also what we need is more opportunities with and in international organizations. I know I think we did, you know, like collaborations with UNODC. Before, I think we tried to find and identify positions in UNODC, and I think we can further work on this, you know, because we do have like very good connections with UNODC and WHO, especially I have worked there. So then what's the last one, but not the least one, I think it's more visible and international presentation of the outcomes of ISAM-NExT SMART goals. So I think there are so many ways we can work on, there are so many areas we can work on, but I do feel that, you know, again and again, I want to repeat this. So thanks to Roshan and Sophia, you know, lead our committee, and now we have very solid foundation, and I would love to contribute to ISAM-NExT and you know, try to promote our fields, you know, like try my best, do my best actually. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. That's all from me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jiang. We will keep the questions from the audience at the very last of all these 3 presentations. And now we will go to the second presenter, which will be presented by His Excellency Dr. Hamad Ghafri.
Thanks a lot, Sophia. So the second presenter, Dr. Laura Orsolini. She's an MD with so many, but so many postgraduate, but the one I like it is on the forensic sector. She's assistant professor in psychiatry. The current affiliation is the Unit Clinical Psychiatry, Unit of Clinical Psychiatry, Department of Neuroscience, DIMC, School of Medicine and Surgery. Yeah, and it's a Polytechnic University of Marseille.
Can you mute yourself, please? Thank you.
Yeah. So she's from University of Marseille and Ancona from Italy. At the same time, she's a liaison officer of the ISAM-NExT subcommittee from 2021 and member of ISAM-NExT. So Laura, the floor is yours. Again, as Alex mentioned, you know, we always say it, you know, tell us something about you, but nobody knows except us. And then the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ghafri, for the kind presentation. May I share my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly. Floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all ISAM-NExT members and ISAM board members. Thank you for joining our debates, and thank you for your high interest and also your sensibility for the future of the ISAM-NExT. My name is Laura Orsolini. I'm a medical doctor. I'm also an addiction, forensic, and general adult psychiatrist. I'm a clinician and a researcher and assistant professor of psychiatry at the Unit of Clinical Psychiatry at the Department of Experimental and Clinical Medicine at the University Polytechnic of Marche in Ancona, in Italy, in the center of the Italy. My main research activities mainly focusing on the digital addictions, substance use disorder, and dual diagnosis, maybe in the youth mental health, and the use also of the digital tools as a diagnostic, therapeutic, as well as potential addictive tools. I've been previously engaged as a senior research assistant at the University of Hertfordshire at the Department of Psychopharmacology, Drug Misuse and Novel Psychoactive Research Units under the supervision of Professor Fabrizio Schifano, in which I was dealt with the deep web activities and potentiality of the digital platforms in performing anti-drug preventive activities, specifically targeted to youngsters, as well as I investigated novel psychoactive substances and their detrimental effect, particularly among youngsters. I also studied the e-psychonaut cyber communities, as well as the digital MPS market by collaborating also with the EMCDDA and the new digital addictions. I work with several international and national associations. I belong to the Early Career Psychiatrist Committee of the WPA, the World Psychiatry Association, and I'm also member of the HEPA of the WPA section on addictions and also informatics, and I'm also involved within the task force of digitalization for mental health and addictions within the World Psychiatry Associations. I'm also involved as a secretary of the HEPA section, the European Psychiatry Associations for the Digital Psychiatry, and also as a counselor within the HEPA section of addictive behaviors, as well as within the Early Career Psychiatrist Committee of the EPA task force about the internationalization, collaborations, and publications. I'm also involved within the NECPAM, the Network of Early Career Professionals working in the area of addiction medicine, and also within the USUP, and also ISAM, the International Society of Addiction Medicine, PPIG committee, and also ISAM-NExT, in which I also covered the role of liaison officials within the International Networking and Collaboration Subcommittee. At the national level, I'm primarily involved within the Early Career Psychiatry Committee of the Italian Society of Psychiatry and the Italian Society of Social Psychiatry, in which I am involved with the task force about the addictions and also the digitalization, mental health and addictions. I think that the current challenges for the early career addiction medicine professionals are mainly derived from what we have learned by the COVID pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic indeed forced all clinicians, and particularly the early career addiction medicine professionals, to face off several obstacles and challenges in guarantee equal access to diagnosis and treatment in addictions. COVID-19 particularly also exponentially increased the exposure to general populations and more vulnerable peoples, particularly youngsters, to technologies and the web, and subsequently their detrimental and risky effects. We observed a very dramatic increase of techno-mediated addictions, and particularly among children and adolescents, with detrimental consequences for their mental health and for the society at all. Our addiction services are not updated, are not ready to face off with the digital revolutions. And we are not well trained and well ready for this digital epidemic. Current challenges for the early career addiction medicine professional, according to me, can be summarized with 3 words: digital, youth, and training. And for this reason, my vision for the next 2024 and 2026 ISAM-NExT programs can be summarized with a very easy slogan: ready. If I will be elected, I will implement energy and strategies to apply my ready program. As we have to be ready to repose addictions within the worldwide paradigm of mental health. We have to be ready to guarantee equity of access to addiction services worldwide. And we have to be ready to guarantee equilibrium and imbalance in geographical, sex, and gender distribution of ISAM-NExT members and also ISAM committee. We have to be ready to act on time. We have to be active in promoting our initiative and also our missions, as well as clinical and research in addiction. We have to be ready to implement digital addiction psychiatry. And we have to be updated about technological progress, but also we have to be trained and ready to provide effective, preventive, diagnostic, and treat therapeutic interventions for digital addictions. We have to be ready to personalize and to tailor our interventions, which should be more addressing to youngsters and youth addictions, as well as we have to be ready to increase our visibility and our mission to younger professionals, to mentor them and to motivate them. For this, why do you have to vote me? For just to summarize with some adjective that to describe better my personality. I'm a very dynamic person. I'm a very energetic. I'm full of energy, particularly when I have to implement addiction within the mental health. And I'm a very curious person, and I can say open-minded. I mean, I'm very open to new initiative, to new collaboration, and new networking and new members. I'm a very smart person, so if I have to achieve an objective, I usually achieve it or achieve them. I'm a very international person, so I build several type of collaboration with several society at national and international level. So I can provide a very link to several associations. And I am a very motivating person. So I usually provide motivation to my students and also my psychiatry trainee. So I motivate them to study addiction. I motivate them to go to the addiction services and to be trained in this field. For the reason I think that you can vote me, and you are ready to vote for the pink future of the ISAM-NExT. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you, Laura. And now we are going to the third candidate. He will be introduced by Prof. Alex Baldacchino. The floor is yours, thank you.
So, third candidate, last but not least, Venkata, Lakshmi Narayana, MD in psychiatry, postdoctoral fellow in addiction medicine, and doctorate in addiction psychiatry. Currently affiliated at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in India, He worked in ISAM-NExT as the liaison officer for Training and Education Subcommittee. And before we start, Venkata, your hobbies.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. My hobbies, I'm a marathon runner. So I am into running, and I run. I finished 150 kilometers of run, and I have finished 142.2, and I regularly run half marathons. So this is my most frequent hobby. So apart from that, I also watch some movies. So I love watching movies and playing with my son.
Thank you very much. Venkata, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So let me share my screen. I hope my...
Yes, we can see it. Floor is yours. You can start. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, namaste and greetings to everyone. I would like to thank the family of ISAM and ISAM-NExT for giving me this opportunity to participate in this debate webinar for the ISAM-NExT chair. As you all know, worldwide, ISAM is the largest body of addiction psychiatry professionals, and it is an honor for me to be part of this debate webinar. And I'm inspired by the presentations of both Jiang and Laura. Thank you, Jiang and Laura. As rightly titled about the vision in the post-pandemic world, the pandemic has provided us both opportunities and challenges as a society for us to grow. And about myself, I have done my MD in psychiatry and DM in addiction psychiatry from NIMHANS, Bengaluru, which is one of the premier institutes in Southeast Asia region. Now I work as a faculty, as associate professor at AIMS Devgar. I play multiple roles. I'm an academician. I teach undergraduates, postgraduates, and also specialist doctors in addiction psychiatry and also general psychiatry. I'm also a clinician who treats people with substance use disorders and people with mental illness. I'm also a researcher. My area of research is on tobacco and alcohol related research, and I have published more than 45 publications in these areas. I'm also heading the department of psychiatry at AIMS Devgar in India. Apart from ISAM, I'm also an active fellow in Addiction Psychiatry Society of India, which is one of the biggest societies in addiction medicine in India. And I'm also part of Indian Psychiatry Society Academy, which is again related to training. I'm also an entrepreneur. So I'm working on an app to bridge the treatment gap for substance use disorders, which will be launched soon. How did my ISAM journey begin? So it started in 2017, where I started making 2 attempts to attend ISAM in Dubai and Busan. And my dream to attend the ISAM got fulfilled at Delhi in 2019, where I passed the certification exam. I was awarded the fellowship and travel grant. In 2020, along with Roshan, I joined ISAM-NExT, and I became the liaison officer for training and education subcommittee. And now I am with you for the post of the chair of ISAM-NExT. So in India, we always believe that mentors play an important role, and my gratitude to the ISAM Professor Alex and Hamad, who has been the guidance, without whose guidance we could not have done whatever the work that we have done in the last 3 years. And Dr. Roshan, Sophia, and Hussein have set a right vision and path for ISAM-NExT, at least for next 25 years. I think we will definitely take forward their vision. Finally, gratitude to my teachers who has inspired me to work in the field of addiction psychiatry. Professor Pratima Murthy and Dr. Atul Ambekar, sir, is also there in this program. And our work in the last 3 years as a part of training subcommittee, which includes Dr. Roshan, Dr. Basma, Angeline, and many others. So one of the important contribution was the survey that we have conducted, and we have published recently on the training needs. So most of my vision is based on this survey, which I'll be telling later. We also received prestigious Editor Choice Award for the Global Perspective paper on harm reduction and abstinence post models under the guidance of Dr. Shalini, Christos, Dr. Alex, Dr. Roshan, and Jenna and Mehdi has contributed significantly for this paper. As a part of training, we have organized 2 important webinars to enhance and attract early career professionals in addiction psychiatry, one with NECPA. And second, we have also done one webinar with WPA early career section on managing difficult cases. This has actually strengthened our relationship with WPA ECP. We have represented ISAM-NExT in various national and international conferences. Me, Mithika, and Preeti have represented in one of the conferences in Adicon. Also, we have been part of, we have represented in ISAM almost every year. So what are my plans for ISAM-NExT 2.0? I would like to emphasize on the vision of ISAM and ISAM-NExT, which focuses on training as a key component. Even our study that we have done provides lack of structured training, mentorship, research funding opportunities, and research opportunities in many of the countries. Many societies provide various learning opportunities for their members, and COVID-19 has taught us to leverage technology to enhance learning. So these are some of the ideas that I have in terms of training, which is one of the key findings in our paper. So addiction-specific self-paced learning and accreditation courses, one thought that will be beneficial to our members and also attract more members. Secondly, we can also focus on grant writing, addiction research methods. Writing papers can be provided not only to our members. And most of the presentations that happen with ISAM members also have been uploaded in our YouTube channel. And these presentation can be linked to our training resources. Podcasts are the popular way to communicate research, policies, and latest advances. Similar to them are Instagram Reels, infographics. So we will try to leverage all the advanced technology to bridge the knowledge gap and enhance learning for our society members. Many psychiatry and allied professionals in countries, particularly in low and middle income countries, are unaware of the addiction specialist pathways. ISAM-NExT will look towards bridging this goal. ISAM-NExT will also work towards making our members being more aware of the fellowship opportunities. And one of the challenges most researchers face, specifically in Global South, is lack of funding opportunities. ISAM-NExT will strive towards networking with potential funders, further negotiating with affiliated societies, agencies to promote funded research and travel grants. ISAM-NExT, one important component ISAM-NExT is mentorship. Currently, Jenna is leading the mentorship subcommittee. I think we have been progressed significantly in that domain. And early career professionals are still trying to settle down across the world, looking for career opportunities and guidance. ISAM-NExT career planning portal will provide opportunity to connect to the mentors and useful resources to plan their career. It can be as simple as tips for attending academic interviews, etc. This can be also done using the AI-based technology. And as you all know that we have 6 subcommittees: training, mentorship, social media, international collaboration, gender diversity, and publication. We will work towards strengthening of these subcommittees. So how do we plan to do this? One, as Jiang already pointed out, that we would need more and more members. Apart from that, we believe in something called as unity in diversity. The diverse group of members across different regions, race, gender, religion will work towards the common vision of ISAM-NExT. How does this happen? So we will have coordination both vertically and horizontally with ISAM and horizontally across the subcommittees. And the SMART goals created by Roshan and team is a wonderful initiative. However, COVID-19 provided some impedance. We shall use technology to enhance the implementation of these SMART goals. ISAM-NExT will be an active participant in advocacy matters, say it policy, providing recommendation, developing protocols in collaboration with various international agencies like WHO, UNODC, etc. ISAM-NExT will actively look for collaboration with sister societies like NECPAM, WPA, ECP, hepatology, and other specialties. Supporting and participation in various interest group of ISAM for ISAM-NExT members will be encouraged. As we all know that working for last 3 years, I know that there are multiple challenges Roshan and Sophia and Hussein have faced. There are some challenges which I can point out, like some members are inactive, working in different timelines. Sometimes people don't participate. We definitely assure you that we hope to address these issues by appropriate planning, defined goals and objectives for membership renewal, adequate reinforcement for active participation of members. Finally, India recently hosted G20 summit at New Delhi, which believes in a Sanskrit term called as Vasudeva Kutumbikam, which means one earth, one family, and one future. And I believe in one ISAM-NExT and one ISAM. I believe we will work towards achieving the vision of ISAM and ISAM-NExT. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you. Excellent, Venkata. Really touched because within ISAM family, we have reached a point where we have 3 excellent candidates and with a long of commitment to strong international networking, education, taking the challenges of the future with the emergent disorders and with new tools to act in our field. Very glad as well to have all these cultural representation of candidates, which drives me to thank you, saying shishie, grazie, and namaste. Now we can have some questions from the audience, please. If you have any question to the one or all the candidates, you can raise your hand and unmute yourself, please.
Okay, I think Professor Nadi is there. Yeah, sir, please go ahead. We
You're on
can't hear
mute.
you. You're mute, unmute. You're mute.
All right.
You're on mute again.
Am I heard now?
Good.
Okay. I need a digital course from the people, obviously. I came here, being curious. And I have to say, I leave after those 3 presentations in a sense of being humbled by the quality of the people I have. And I said to myself, my God, the ISAM is going to be so well represented over the next 25 years. It's amazing. So congratulations to all 3 candidates. And as far as I'm concerned, all 3 candidates should be involved. And I would vote for the 3, actually. That's just my personal opinion. The other thing also is I'm so proud of the fact that ISAM will provide a platform for such talent. And I have nothing else really to say. Again, I'm humbled and proud by the qualities of the 3 people that presented. Thank you very much for that experience.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay.
There is a question in the chat.
Yeah, we'll take to actually Professor Tarek Gawad first, and then Dr. Abhishek Ghosh, NECPAN Chair. Professor Gawad.
Thank you very much, and I echo our founder, Professor Gabali's congratulations to you, the 3 of you. When you get old, you like more natural food. I like fruits, and you are a plate of fruit. So I congratulate you. Each one and every one of you have his own strengths, and I really we have to think, and the presidents have to think about how to keep you and involve the 3 of you. That is a very would be very hard decision to deliver. My only just a curious question, the three of you, how many ISAM meetings you attended? Thank you.
Yes, Jiang, can you respond? Jiang, Narasimha, Laura? Yeah, Jiang.
So the all the meetings which happened virtually, I have attended. In person ISAM meeting, I have attended ISAM Delhi.
Yeah, for me, I attended most of virtual meetings, and because I joined ISAM, you know, around the time the beginning of COVID. So, but I already bought tickets to Marrakesh, so I will see everyone over there this year finally.
I attended the virtual meetings, so during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the webinars organized by the ISAM and the ISAM-NExT.
Again, it's a draw. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have Dr. Abhishek Ghosh, who is the chairperson from NECPAM. Yeah, please, Dr. Abhishek.
Thank you very much, Roshan, and thank you, ISAM and ISAM-NExT for inviting NECPAM in this platform. NECPAM feels very much glad and privileged to be a part of this program, and so excited to see all these excellent presentations. And we hope that will strengthen our collaborations in the future, because we share a common goal, ISAM-NExT and NECPAM. And together we'll make the addiction medicine training for early career professional better. And so yeah, all the best to all three of you, Venkata, Jiang, and Laura. I have one question. I think that will apply to, means one of you can choose to respond, or maybe all of you. We find it sometimes difficult to sustain motivations of early career members. One of the reasons is that they face a lot of challenges in terms of changing workplace, or maybe competing priorities with personal and family lives. Sometimes not all of them are very sure they are in addiction medicine, but whether they would stick to it. So kind of what are your plans to reinforce and incentivize early career addiction medicine professionals to keep working in the field of addiction medicine, keep working with the groups like the ISAM-NExT or NECPAM? Thank you.
Laura, can you answer, please?
Yes, thank you, Abhishek, for coming, for the questions. I think that we have to motivate them by involving them in the, particularly in the publications, in the research activity, but also motivate them about the passionate field of the addictions. I usually talk with my younger professionals, my students, my psychiatry trainees, and I try to open their mind about the knowledge in the field of addiction, because many of the training program in medicine and in psychiatry, but also in other specialties, are lack of addiction as a knowledge. So I try to open their mind, and so to propose some novelty, some interest in the field, and to propose them to participate to courses specifically targeted to the addiction fields and addiction neuroscience. And I indeed obtaining more enthusiastic younger when I try to propose them free solutions, because this is another question, another problem, the economical aspect. So if we provide them with not so expensive solutions, we are not so motivated in involving them. So I try to provide them free opportunities. And I hope to engage them by using also this, the same tools that I'm using in Italy and also in my profession.
Thank you, Laura. Venkata, please.
Yeah. So I think I have learned this from Roshan and my ISAM-NExT team, that initially we had the concept of SMART goals. So one of the learning over the last 3 years was when we went for many SMART goals, we found it overwhelming. So over a period of time with repeated meetings, we learned that having focused SMART goals, which are minimal in number, which are achievable, and which can be achieved over a period of 6 months. So that is one thing that helped us to stay focused. So this is one learning that we had over a period of 3 years. Second is in terms of opportunities. So for example, again, I will go back and cite the example. What motivated me to be more involved in certain aspect compared to others was the leaders pushed us to actually take a lead and be in front to for any objective that we planned for. So that is, we are fortunate to have leaders who has done that. I think that is the second aspect of the learning that I had. The third is identifying the areas of interest of people and linking people who are like-minded and working on particular area to work on particular projects. So that again helped us, that again we learned over a period of time when we had these repeated meetings with the significant stakeholders or the ISAM committee members. So these are 3 learnings that I had over a period of last 3 years, which actually helped us to achieve, at least I can tell, 50 to 70% of the plans that we made and involve around 50 to 70% of the people part of the committees.
Thank you, Venkata. Jiang, please, the floor is yours to answer.
Yes. I mean, on top of what Venkata and Laura mentioned, I totally agree. And I also would like to highlight, I mean, from the perspective, because it's absolutely a complex question, right? We can talk about the whole day. But I was thinking that from the perspective ISAM or ISAM-NExT, I was thinking that how should we foster a great environment for younger professionals in our field. I think like the diversity is very important. You know, how should we create such an environment to have this diversity for young professionals, and also, you know, friendly, and we would like to have an environment which is very friendly and also supportive and also inclusive. So I think from our perspective, what we should do is that how should we bring more? That's why I came up with this, you know, 5 M's, right? So how should we bring in more resources and also informations for young professionals in our field? And how should we create a mutual supportive environment, you know, between our organization and young professionals in our field? So that's what we need to think about, and that's what we should work on. That's my perspective on this question. Yeah, but it's very complex. I need to think about it afterwards. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jiang. Now the floor is to His Excellency Dr. Hamad Ghafri.
Well, thanks a lot, 3 of you. You know, we listen, we learn again. Maybe one of the words that you mentioned, Venkata, is the family and how we can take it further to the future. And I'm also talking about the issue of linking ISAM-NExT with the ISAM community and the ISAM board. I'm sure that, you know, during the past period of time, you get involved with our strategy. You know, we are building up a new strategy now. And that strategy will be having some action plans, which will be, directed towards ours and your, plans in the future. So my little comment or a question regarding the people, the public health point of view. What is your contribution to that field, bearing in mind that, everybody nowadays talking about addiction as public health problems, and how can we, tackle the major problems that we do have? One of them actually is the training, and how we can utilize actually the resources we have internationally towards ISAM, and how we can, attract people too. So basically, that's my point of that I'm raising today. And we need to learn from you and your experience in that field, and how we can take it further. Thank you.
Thank you. Jiang, please, can you answer?
Yes. So because I had the chance to work with WHO, and also now I'm working at a WHO Collaborative Center for Research and Training in Mental Health. So I think we see, resources, I repeated this word many times. I think what we need to do is that, I think from my personal experience, is that we need to really collect efforts from each part of our world, and we can create like a shared channel, or we can just collect all the efforts across the globe, and we can deliver our messages, our trainings, and our efforts to directly to young professionals. I think that's one way to do it. As a staff member of a WHO Collaborating Center for training, because I think Hamad mentioned that training. So training, I think, like, that's what we are doing. That we are trying to, for example, we are trying. Sophia helped with us a lot. I think because we are doing international collaborations. So we really would like to have the people have the different materials from every corner of the world, and we would like to, then we need to showcase all the people, like the resources to everyone. And I think collective efforts, that's what I'm trying to stress and flag. Yeah.
Thank you, Jiang. Laura, please.
Thank you for the question. I think that we have to increase the possibility of all countries to be part of the network, and for doing this, we have to take into account, pose the attentions to the diversities across countries. I came from Europe, but the European situation can be very different from other countries, other regions, worldwide regions. So we have to cooperate in order to identify the gaps in training, the gaps in the access to the addiction services. So we have to be more homogeneous. But before doing this homogeneity, we have to be sure to be representative by all countries and all diversities worldwide.
Thank you, Laura. Venkata, please.
Yeah. So in my experience of last 10 years, so there are 2 points that I would like to add. One is training your own specialty people. So although as psychiatrists, many of your own colleagues do not practice addiction psychiatry, so making them or training them in practicing addiction psychiatry, that is point number 1. The point number 2 is to train your colleagues, the colleagues who are of other specialties. So this is something that there is a significant amount of evidence for screening, brief intervention, and referral to treatment. As a society, we can also collaborate with our colleague societies, say it a hepatology society. So we can collaborate with them, and that would, the talk between these two specialties can actually foster in reducing the gap for treatment at a public health level.
Thank you, Venkata. Now the floor is to my dear friend and colleague from the WHO expert group, Achab, please.
Thank you, Sophia, and thank you very much. I hope I'm audible. All three presenters made great presentations. I'm very pleased to note that the future of ISAM-NExT and indeed the future of ISAM is in very safe hands. I have a very brief question, and I would want very pointed and brief answers from all the three candidates. How do you think we can best utilize or engage with other non-addiction medicine but addiction professionals? ISAM is about addiction medicine, but we know that there are psychologists, there are social workers who can play and do play a very important role in the field of addiction. So how do you think ISAM-NExT can best engage with them, yet retaining the addiction medicine flavor of ISAM-NExT?
Thank you, Achab. Venkata, can you reply to this question, or you need more time and we can move to Jiang or Laura? As you prefer, really.
I can reply. I completely agree. Thank you for your questions with your reflection, because we have to cooperate also with other professionals. So we are not alone, we are only physicians, but we have to implement also members coming from other specialties and other disciplines working in the field of of addiction and mental health. And for this reason, I think that's the idea to extend the invite to addiction professionals is better than only to addiction medicines physicians, because we work together with psychiatry therapeutic technicians and also educators and also social workers, and they are part of our equipe, and we have to include them in our visions. So I completely agree with your reflections.
Thank you, Laura. Whoever wants to reply from Jiang or Venkata, as you want.
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as Dr. Ambekar has told, that the collaboration that we are planning to have with other specialties, I think the similar kind of collaboration we need to have with the allied healthcare professionals, which can be from training programs that we are conducting. They can be part of our training programs. One of the ideas that we had to start a podcast. So if we are working on a specific podcast that include psychologists or social workers, so involving them, talking with them, communicating with them, and if we are planning to conduct some collaborative research, so doing in collaboration with societies, like how we are doing collaborative research from ISAM-NExT and NECPAM, if we are planning to do some webinar series, in a similar way, involving them in a collaborative manner is something that I can think of.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Achab, to raising this, very important point. I think it's more about like stakeholder engagement. Like I'm thinking that because we do, in our field, we have so many different important stakeholders, and also including non-professionals. I mean, like even though they are not directly working in the field, but it's really, really relevant to our work. I think one thing is that I think to have like joint programs and joint publicity and joint events. That's one way to do it, to collaborate with them and trying to really, it's actually, I mean, addiction medicine, it's really like we have so many overarching like topics over there, so that's where we can really use those opportunities to collaborate with more stakeholders. That's very important. Thank you very much, Achab, for raising it.
Thank you, Jiang.
Thank you, everyone.
One question from our third pillar from the executive team of ISAM-NExT committee, who's Hussein Muhaddas Ardabili.
Hello again, and thank you especially Sophia, Roshan, and all the senior members who are presenting here, whose presentation here are, I think, motivation for our younger generation. Thank you all. I learned a question. I think actually Alex's question was really nice, but we missed Laura's hobbies. So this is a special question for Laura to have actually her hobbies. And another question that I will actually ask from all three nominees. As you know, we are a young committee. We are not funded. We don't have so many funded projects. We just have people. We just have us actually early carriers. Also, we have senior members in ISAM. We have our own type of issues, problems. You three have been among our subcommittees in during these 3 years. You well know our limitations, our problems, our issues, and I would actually, this is my main question, that what are your specific solution for your actually problems and issues in your subcommittees? Have you actually faced a special problem in your specific subcommittee during these 3 years? And what did you do there to actually answer and find a solution for that? You know, we are all actually engaged in a lot of actually duties in our professional life, and ISAM-NExT is another duty within those millions. So how can we have all these beautiful goals, all these actually interesting visions actually happen? How can we do this? Especially, I want to ask you to answer it specifically in your actually subcommittee during these 3 years. How could you improve your function in that specific subcommittee? Thank you, and the floor is yours.
I think I will take this. One of the challenges already I have mentioned in my presentation about the challenges in terms of non-active participation of subcommittee members. So when we decided to have multiple goals, again, there are multiple challenges. I would like to focus on one challenge. So when we decided to have multiple goals, that's where the problem has started. Initially, when we had 6 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals. But when we took one goal at a time for next 6 months, I think the participation has improved significantly. So this was one learning that we had in our subcommittee. Second is in terms of research funding opportunities and travel grants. So again, this is the learning from the other societies in which I have been working. So a particular amount of grant has been kept aside from the funding agencies, where this grant has been utilized for providing funding opportunities specifically for early career psychiatrists in the society. And this grant keeps growing, accumulating, and a specific set of people will get funding for doing both research and also travel. And this travel includes to a person who is an early career professional to travel to a separate different state. This is because it's an Indian agency, different state, and get trained in a particular specialty because you are part of the society. So this is 2 things that comes to my mind for your question. Thank you.
Yeah, I can talk about my subcommittee. I think one thing came into my mind is COVID. That's the biggest challenge for our work in the past. I'm glad that it's already in the past. I think because we are working on international networking and collaborations. I think because we could not travel, and I think we apply different strategies to deal with this challenge. We try to really tried our best to engage every member in our subcommittee to be very active for our vision. And every month we have like email communications, and also we really try to organize some we have WhatsApp group to very actively discuss about our problems, our work. I think that's it worked very well. And also by this process, we had a chance to know each other, every member better. That will actually increase the productivity of our work. We tried, then we have made, in our subcommittee, we work together on papers. Then we tried to really, take our interaction with WHO, for example. In the beginning, WHO was, really busy with COVID work and other work, but then it's very notably, we realized that in the last 2 years, our interactions with WHO, with ADA team at WHO, it's really, changed a lot. And now we have like really regular interactions with ADA team at WHO, which, we can, regularly discuss what we can work on together, and, try to promote our society and also our work. Then we had a joint symposium just 1 month ago in Incheon, South Korea. So it was a big success. And also we have regional meeting over there. I think everything came together, and we make it in a very good way. I think that's a big success. And I think I think that I also would like to highlight using this opportunity that different committees and subcommittees, we work together and make one thing happen. That's really amazing and incredible. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the question about the hobbies. I usually play piano and also reading manga. I really like the Japanese culture and all relating to the Oriental countries. So I like sushi and also manga in general. And during my free time, I play with my daughter and I stay with my family, and also painting and traveling. Regarding the questions that you posed, it's very interesting, because I think that we can propose, as already said, Venkata and Jiang, travel grants, but also research grants. But I would like to propose also providing gaining experience abroad programs, in which I can provide, for example, 2 weeks of experience in different centers dedicated to the addiction. And we can also support this activity, or we can try to support them to find some type of financial resources to support the travel spaces, or we can offer to the candidates our home, or to offer this opportunity to see clinical and research activities. But I think that in order to implement members, new members and youngers, is fundamentally to involve them in publications, because this is the more appealing, really easy solutions, and also in potentially research activities. And also we can also try to think about some e-learning courses, completely free, about the knowledge, the basic knowledge of addiction, but also the basic knowledge about the psychopharmacology in the field of the addictions. And there are several other international society that provide these e-learning, very brief courses free. So we can try to build this sort of short video toolkit to engage more younger. And this is my ideas.
Thank you to all the three candidates. And now the question from our alma mater and president, Alex Baldacchino.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm really impressed with the three candidates, and hopefully you'll all be very involved in all different types of ISAM activities, not just ISAM-NExT. But I'm going to put you on the spot here. So the new chair will be currently an ex officio member of the ISAM board of directors. We're having currently discussions if that chair should be a full member. But let's leave that by the side, because I want to ask you, the three of you, is observing from the ISAM-NExT platform, observing us in the ISAM board of directors, what would be the one thing that you would want the ISAM board to do or to change?
Thank you, Professor. Who wants to take the challenge?
Yeah. So I felt one of the points that I have highlighted is the vertical integration. So the vertical integration is ISAM-NExT and ISAM. So the coordination between the ISAM-NExT and ISAM, I think it happens at the level of the chair or the co-chair, but that coordination may also percolate down. So this is one thing that I, as a chair, if elected, will request the ISAM to or expect, as you rightly asked, as a honest feedback.
Yeah, I have my thoughts as well. So I think one thing I will ask, if I'm the chair, one thing I will ask from ISAM board is that, because we are ISAM-NExT, so we are, focused on younger generations in the field and with less resources, right? I mean, I would ask even more support and more resources from ISAM, like a board, because you guys are obviously like a bigger figure and figures, and you have more connections, more resources and more channels. I think I would like to ask more like support from ISAM boards, and so then we can, with your like more support, we can do more things within ISAM-NExT. That's what I will do if I'm the chair. Yeah.
Laura.
Thank you for the question, Professor Baldacchino. I think that I would propose to you to increase more financial opportunity for younger to come to the ISAM conference, because we are really in difficulty when we try to register and to pay that fee that are not always funded by our university. And we would like to come there, but we have very problems from the economical part of the registration. So I think that to increase grants for early career addiction medicine professional could be a good solution to reduce this gap between ISAM-NExT, but also other younger and the ISAM members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Now time is running. We are keeping time. I'm very happy for that from my Swiss part. And now I'm handing over to Hussein for closing remarks on next steps. Please,
I think, Hussein, we have actually one question in chat box. So Dr. Hussain Elkoli has asked one question. So Narsima and Laura, can you reply? I'll just read the question. So for Venkata and Laura, there's a question. Please, Venkata, please tell us more about this app and its aim. And can Laura tell us more about her work using digital tools for addiction treatment? Yeah, that's a question.
Yeah, so the app that we are developing is basically the aim is to bridge the treatment gap. So the treatment gap for substance use disorders in India is around 85%. So the app will link the service providers with the end users, and such kind of apps are there, but not specifically focused on substance use disorders. And that starts from self-help to group therapies to connecting to a doctor. So we have a recent telemedicine guidelines which the end user can access the treatment from a specialist sitting at a tertiary care hospital. So this is what the app aims at.
Laura?
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. My work, my research activity, I'm mainly focusing on the youth mental health. So is specifically addressing to at-risk younger for substance use disorder, alcohol use disorder, and also digital addictions. For this reason, we are now implementing both systems. One system that is based on the digital phenotyping. So we are implementing a dashboard and an app within our hospital and also in our outpatient services, more specifically addressing to younger that are hospitalized or are following in our outpatient services. And this app monitor their clinical course, but also their propensity to substance use and also the using of the digital tools. And the other research project that we hope to that will be funded by the Horizon project is a web-based student mental health platform specifically dedicating to provide to identify at-risk individuals, at-risk students for digital addictions. And these are the both activities that means to implement that we would like to implement in our fields.
Thank you, Laura. For the sake of equity between the three candidates, Jiang, you can showcase whatever you want in terms of works or apps or whatever you want to showcase, just for the sake of equity between the three candidates. Thank you.
Yeah, and also you can ask question to the other candidates, to Laura or Narsima. We'll go to each candidate and follow that, then we can go for the closure. So yeah, apart from showcasing, you can also ask question to Laura or Narsima if you have any. Jiang, yes.
I'm sorry, Sophia, I lost you for like 10 seconds. Could you please repeat?
Would you like to tell some words on one of the main projects, just briefly, on any kind of project that you would like to showcase in equity with the other candidates that spoke about? One app, Venkata, and two projects from Laura.
Yes, may I talk about like our WHO collaborative project on gaming disorder? So what we are doing, like with Sophia and other experts, what we are doing is that we are trying to develop international diagnostic instrument for gaming disorders, and afterwards we will do adaptation for gambling disorder. I mean, that's one big thing we are doing. I mean, with international collaborators and led by the WHO ADA unit. I think that's we are really pushing this project forward. And also, I'm doing another project I talk about is the telemedicine service focused on psychiatric and substance use disorders for key populations in Malaysia. That's another project I'm doing. So it's like my projects are more global health oriented. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sophia. Yeah.
And you have a question for Laura or Narsima? Jiang? Yes.
Yes, I mean, I have like, I would like to ask that, because now we are in the another chapter of, we're gonna step into another chapter of ISAM. So we are, like trying to do something, even with bigger ambitions. I would like to ask Laura and also wait, I'm really bad at names. So, and also other colleagues that what do you want to do? I mean, when if you are the next chair, so what you will do? I mean, the first thing you will do. That's I'm very curious about this. Yeah.
Okay, Laura.
It's a tricky question. I think that we can start by increase new members, more active and more younger, because we have to renovate and to start about the new generations. And because many of the things that I discovered coming from the new generations, so I think that we can reach by their curiosity and their nature, intimate nature of digital natives, and also new generations. So I will ask to them what they think should be improved in our committee, and what they think should be the novelty to be integrated and to pose the attention in our next bishop program. Thank you.
I think I have shared my plans, but because if there is one point that I would like to make, maybe I could think of an ISAM-NExT virtual conference in the beginning of first 6 months or 1 year to bring all the ISAM-NExT members and also to encourage more people to join ISAM-NExT. So this is one thought that which is not in my plan, which comes after you asked.
Okay. Laura, you want to ask any questions to Jiang or Narasimha?
Yes, the same question.
Oh, yeah. So I will answer then, because I raised that question at the first place. So what I'm going to do is that because I'm studying, I mean, here at Yale, I'm learning and also doing implementation science projects. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do by myself first. Of course, I will try to come up with an implementation plan. So I will do stakeholder engagement, like stakeholder list I will come up with, and also like resource mapping, and those kind of like planning first. Then afterwards I will have like the first thing I will do is that stakeholder engagement, like virtual meeting. Then we can discuss and see how should we do to promote our ISAM-NExT better. Yeah, that's what I will do. I will think a little bit, then and have a virtual meeting with stakeholders. Yeah, thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Narasimha, you have any questions for Jiang or Laura?
One question that came to my mind was both Laura and Jiang, both of them have been working in as a part of international collaboration and also have worked in different societies. So how do you translate those learnings for ISAM-NExT?
Yes. Laura, do you want to do it first, or I can do it? So, thank you very much, Venkata. So I think according to my experience, doing international collaborations, I think one thing is very important is because different parties have different interests and also priorities. I think that's one thing we we'd better know first. And then because it's collaborations we are talking about. So everyone has different positions to stand. I think that's what we need. What is very important for us is to really find and discuss on a shared goal. Then we can moving together towards the shared goal. That's very important for us. Yeah. And that's like very critical when we are doing like we are collaborating with other parties like for our work. Yeah. Thank you, Venkata.
Thank you to all. And our next president has asked for any question for the board.
Yeah. So Professor Baldacchino is here and Professor Hamad Al-Ghafri. If there are any comments you want to give before we go to Hussein for next steps. I think we are not able to hear. You're mute. Yeah.
So no, I don't have any questions. I think it's important that you explain the next steps of what is going to happen after today's webinar. But thank you for your presentation.
No, there is a misunderstanding. Dr. Ghafri has wrote, he wrote in the chat to the 3 candidates, any question for the board from the candidates.
Okay.
All right.
I think we are really curious about to know our next steps. I think that's our question, one of our questions. Yes.
Okay.
So I would like to take a feedback. Are our visions in sync with what ISAM believes what ISAM-NExT should do?
I would like to thank all the ISAM board because you really increase this network and you really give the opportunity for the younger to be part of an international network so richful and so fruitful for us. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Alex, any comment from your side?
Well, what Venkata had asked is a very loaded question, I would say. And, it is one of those where I think it needs a couple of hours to discuss, to tease out. We're asking the same question. We're asking as ISAM board, what's our future? Where should we go? Hamad mentioned the new strategy. We have grown. We have several committees. We're in the limelight most of the time. The world is changing. There are challenges going on, and I think it's for us is the time to consolidate what we have achieved. And thank you, Laura, and Jiang and Venkata for appreciating the fact that we have provided the platform for ISAM-NExT and other communities within ISAM. But I think it's for me, it's not rocket science. It's a successful group, whoever they are, is based on honesty, good communication, and excellent leadership. And but Venkata, if you have a couple of hours, we can talk about your thoughts about what that would look like. Hamad.
And yeah, from my side, I think we need to end it by any means in having a direct, open conversation between us. As you said, the vertical communication and the knowledge transfer and the issues that we do have within the board. So basically, we are ISAM at the end of the day. When you say ISAM, either ISAM board or ISAM Gen or ISAM-NExT, we are one community that's working together for the same aims and objectives and same goals that we'll be looking for. We need your help. You need our help. We are all working together and achieving our plans that we will all work it out. So basically, we will keep you engaged. We will keep you busy with us. And in the coming period of time. The conference is coming soon, and maybe today one of the issues that's been raised up that we need to always have some kind of that hybrid conferences in a way to involve more people with us in attending and more people to join and to share their experience and knowledge, especially for those who could not afford travel and expenses. And that's one of the main, I think, that's one of the main issues that you need to raise it up on the ISAM-NExT and having more, more individual young psychiatrists, young, group working on the same, specialty. So that's number one. Number two, I always say to my team in the past that the sky is the limit. So we'll be going, inshallah, let's say it in Arabic, in gear one. When you drive the car, it's automatic gear, you'll put it on D and that's it. But when you go gear one, you need to initiate that, initiation of the process. I'm sure, since the initiation of ISAM, Nadi's, Professor Nadi and his team in the past, thanks for them all. They did a great job in initiating something out of nothing. But the question is, the future is different than, the past. You people are talking about digital addiction. We are talking about, a new eras in our field that need to be updated. We need to be communicated with international agencies. We need to communicate with each others. We need to share knowledge and experience. We need to gain from ourselves and from other expertise depending on the speciality. Policy have to change. We need to have our impact on the policy. We have impact on the prevention programs. We need to have our impact on, solving the major problems that we do have. And we will work all together in having, at least, let's say, all together in leading our young generation towards the future. And at the same time, listen to them. One of the ideas that may arrive is let's think on a way to link that committees together and to have some kind of, like an open books for communication, for recommendations, for any suggestion that you could have. So basically, you will be leading part of the process in the future where we'll be working in. So your voice is heard, and at the same time, from the equity point of view, we need to work with our colleagues in different parts of the world and reach them. If they can't reach us, we need to reach them. So that's from my side. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor Baldacchino and Professor Ghafri. I would like to emphasize here that all the board of directors, including Professor Baldacchino and Professor Hamad, both of them were very supportive and we got a lot of encouragement. Thank you for this. Without that, ISAM-NExT could not have reached here. And I know that I'm confident that the same support will get the next committee as well. So now next step, I would like to invite now co-chair Dr. Hussain to tell us what is next step. And then member secretary will close the webinar.
Thank you, Roshan. Let me share my screen and start my presentation. I hope you can see my screen. Let me again actually thank all of you, the organizing actually committee of the actually this debate, also the senior members again. I cannot find any reason actually for them to be present from the very beginning of this event till now, except their interest and genuine actually dedication to ISAM. Thank you again. And let me quickly go through the next steps. Actually, the next step in our timeline, which is actually we are currently in the first step of this actually timeline, which is debate. We have almost done the debate today. We will share the video with all the members soon. And the news for the candidates is that they have 10 more days to work on the actually election campaign. They can reach out to the members and try to maybe collect more votes. And then after 10 days, we will stop this campaign and start the voting process on October 1st. The voting process is designed to actually in a way that all the members will receive an email with a link in it, and they can actually click the link and try to vote. I will talk more about how should they vote. The next step on actually October 25th, which is the deadline for voting. So we have some 20 days for voting, and then no new votes will be accepted and counted after October 25th, actually the midnight. The next step will be announcing the results in November 3rd in Morocco at ISAM Annual Congress, and the final step, or maybe the beginning or the first step of the new ISAM-NExT, or the next ISAM-NExT, would be actually taking charge in the first day of the new year, January 1st, and it will be a actually 2-year period. Let me just briefly explain the voting process. Each member can vote for all 3 candidates. So each member have 3 votes, but the order of preference is important. So when you receive the voting link, you click on the link, you will have actually 3 options. And the options are actually have each option according to the preference have its point. The first option 10 points, second option 5 points, third option 3 points, and if you have no preference, so you will actually give no points to no one. The final point is that the total voters are 69 individuals. So the maximum possible points for maybe the most actually for the first person who maybe collect all the votes will be 690. In the case of tie, the candidate who gets the most actually first preference will actually win the voting. This is all from my side. Thank you again, and I think Preeti can take the lead. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Hussain. All the candidates have received the email list of all the voters. So the candidates can contact the voters through their email or also through the social media. And as mentioned by Dr. Hussain, the voting campaign should end before the actual election starts, and so that you don't influence the voters during the voting. So it should end by September 30 and not it should not extend beyond that. So is there any doubt related to the voting process by the candidates?
No, Dr. Preeti.
Thank you. So I think we can conclude. Is there any last minute comments by any of the board members or the audience? So if none, so I'm eagerly awaiting who is going to be the next chair. So ISAM-NExT chair will not only be the board member, they are the representative of ISAM-NExT, and being a chair, Dr. Roshan had been a very great chair. He had always taken the feedbacks during all the review meetings, and there had been modifications in the, as Dr. Narasimha pointed out, the SMART goals and everything. And we expect the new chair will also be a voice of all the ISAM-NExT members, and they will be taking the feedback from each and every member. And all the best to all the 3 of you. And I would like to thank the chairpersons of today's webinar, Professor Alexander Baldacchino and Professor and the next president-elect. They had taken out their time and come here. And I would also like to thank the moderators of today's webinar, Dr. Roshan and Dr. Sophia, and all the 3 contestants and all the audience for today's webinar. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Preeti. And thank you, Sophia.
Thank you to all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you and good luck to all the candidates. Bye.
Bye.